My beloved child, I know you've been staring at the clock again, hoping that somehow another day will arrive, carrying the courage you feel you don't have today. You've convinced yourself that healing belongs to a future version of you, a stronger version, a calmer version, someone who knows exactly what to do with all the pain and confusion you've been carrying. But listen carefully. That future you're waiting for isn't holding the answer. The peace you've been searching for isn't hiding somewhere down the road. It's closer than you think. Right now, as you sit there replaying old memories and carrying burdens that have weighed heavily on your heart, I am with you. I see the way you hold everything inside. I see the questions you don't ask. I see the tears you've trained yourself not to cry. And I know how exhausted you've become from trying to carry it all alone. You keep saying, maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be ready. Tomorrow I'll understand. Tomorrow I'll open my heart. Tomorrow I'll finally let go. But my child, tomorrow has become a hiding place. A place where fear disguises itself as preparation. A place where hesitation pretends to be wisdom. You think you need more answers before you can trust me. You think you need to clean up the mess inside your heart before you allow me into it. You believe you must first become someone better, someone stronger, someone more deserving. But that was never the requirement. You don't need to become someone else for me to meet you. I already know every corner of your heart. I know the rooms you've locked. I know the memories you've buried. I know the disappointments you've never spoken aloud. Nothing about your struggle surprises me. Nothing about your weakness pushes me away. And nothing about your past changes the way I love you. The healing you've been waiting for doesn't begin after everything makes sense. It begins the moment you stop running from what hurts. It begins when you stop pretending you're fine. It begins when you stop postponing the very comfort your soul desperately needs. My precious child, you have spent so much time preparing for peace that you've forgotten. Peace is something you can receive right now, not next week, not next month, not after you figure everything out. Right now, as you breathe, as you listen, as you sit in the middle of uncertainty. You don't have to earn my presence. You don't have to qualify for my love. You don't have to prove your worth to me. I loved you before you had answers. I loved you before you had strength. I loved you before you even knew how much you needed me. And I love you now. This exact moment. This exact version of you, not the future version you've imagined. Not the version you think would finally deserve grace. The version sitting here today, carrying wounds, questions, fears, and all. That is the person I came for. That is the person I am speaking to. That is the person I'm holding close. Place your hand over your heart for a moment. Feel the steady rhythm beating within you. Every beat is a reminder that life is happening now, not later, not someday, now. The gift of this moment is standing in front of you, but you've been so focused on reaching tomorrow that you've missed what is already available today. You keep waiting for the storm to disappear before allowing yourself to rest. But what if rest was never meant to be found after the storm? What if rest is found in knowing you don't have to face the storm alone? I am not the wind that frightens you. I am the shelter beside you. I am the calm that remains when everything else feels uncertain. I am the voice reminding you that you are still loved, even when life feels overwhelming. And my child, that love is available now, not tomorrow, now. My beloved child, I know you've been telling yourself that you simply need more time. More time to think. More time to heal. More time to figure out why certain wounds still ache when you thought they should have faded by now. But let me ask you something. How much of that time has actually brought you peace? You've revisited the same memories countless times. You've replayed conversations. You've analyzed mistakes. You've searched for explanations. Yet somehow, the weight remains. Sometimes what we call processing is really just another way of keeping pain at a safe distance. We study it without surrendering it. We examine it without releasing it. We become familiar with the hurt because at least it feels predictable. But my child, I never created you to live imprisoned by yesterday. I created you for freedom. I created you for joy. I created you for connection. And most of all, I created you for relationship with me. The walls you've built around your heart may have protected you for a season, but they were never meant to become your permanent home. You were not designed to live behind defenses forever. You were not created to spend your life standing guard over old wounds. You were made to grow. You were made to flourish. You were made to receive love without constantly wondering when it might disappear. I know you've become tired. Tired of carrying responsibilities no one else sees. Tired of pretending you're stronger than you feel. Tired of acting like everything is under control when inside you're struggling just to keep moving forward. I know. I've seen every silent battle. I've seen every restless night. I've heard every prayer that never made it past your lips. Nothing has escaped my attention. And because I know your weariness, I'm inviting you to stop carrying what was never yours to carry alone. You have spent so many years being your own protector. You learned how to survive. You learned how to endure disappointment. You learned how to hide the vulnerable parts of yourself whenever life became painful. And for a while, those survival skills helped you. But survival is not the same as living. Survival keeps you breathing. Living allows you to flourish. Survival builds walls. Living opens windows. Survival expects disappointment. Living makes room for hope. And my child, there is still hope for you, far more than you realize. I know one of your greatest fears. You're afraid that if you finally open your heart, everything you've been holding back will rush out at once. You're afraid the tears won't stop. You're afraid the grief will be too much. You're afraid the emotions you've buried for years will overwhelm you. But listen carefully. You don't have to fear what comes into the light. The things hidden in darkness often appear larger than they truly are. Pain grows when it's locked away. Shame grows when it's hidden. Fear grows when it remains unspoken. But the moment those things are brought into my presence, they begin to lose their power. Not because your struggles instantly disappear, but because you no longer carry them by yourself. My precious child, I am not intimidated by your mess. I am not discouraged by your broken places. I am not surprised by your weaknesses. Where you see chaos, I see possibility. Where you see failure, I see restoration. Where you see damage, I see a story that is still being redeemed. You look at yourself and focus on what is unfinished. I look at you and see what is becoming beautiful. You focus on the cracks. I see the light that will shine through them. You focus on the scars. I see proof that you've survived. Nothing about your story is wasted. Not a single tear. Not a single disappointment. Not a single lonely night. Even the chapters you wish had never happened can become places where healing grows. But healing requires openness. A garden cannot bloom if it remains sealed away from sunlight. Seeds cannot grow if they never receive water, and hearts cannot heal while locked behind doors that never open. My child, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you're fearless. Stop waiting until everything makes sense. The perfect moment has never existed. There will always be another reason to delay, another excuse to wait, another fear whispering that tomorrow would be better. But tomorrow keeps moving further away. And while you wait, life continues. Grace continues. Love continues. My presence continues. I am here now, not when you figured everything out, not after you've reached some spiritual milestone, not after you've become the person you wish you were. I am here today, with you, beside you, holding space for every question and every fear. You do not have to impress me. You do not have to perform for me. You do not have to earn my attention. You already have it. You always have, and you always will. So take a deep breath, my beloved child. My precious child, there's something you've been postponing for far too long. Not a task, not a responsibility, not a decision. You've been postponing your own healing. You've been telling yourself that one day you'll finally forgive. One day you'll trust again. One day you'll stop feeling the weight of what happened. One day you'll believe that your life can still become something beautiful, but that one day keeps moving farther away. Every time you get close, fear whispers another reason to wait. Every time hope begins to rise, doubt convinces you to delay. And before you realize it, another week passes. Another month passes. Another year passes. Meanwhile, your heart remains standing at the doorway, afraid to step forward. My beloved, I do not want you to spend your life waiting for permission to be free. Freedom is not something hidden in the future. It begins the moment you decide to stop partnering with the lies that have kept you trapped. You have listened to those lies for far too long. The lie that says you're not enough. The lie that says you're too damaged. The lie that says you've missed your chance. The lie that says other people can be healed, but not you. Those lies have become so familiar that they almost sound like your own voice, but they are not your voice, and they certainly are not mine. When I look at you, I don't see someone disqualified. I don't see someone beyond repair. I don't see someone who has failed too many times. I see my beloved child. I see someone worth pursuing. I see someone worth restoring. I see someone whose story is far from over. The chapters you've cried through are not the end of the book. The heartbreak wasn't the conclusion. The disappointment wasn't the final page. I am still writing, and where you see an ending, I often see a beginning. My child, you've spent so much time staring at what was lost that you've struggled to notice what still remains. Look carefully. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still capable of love. You are still capable of joy. You are still capable of becoming more than your pain. The enemy wants you focused on what has been taken. I want you to remember what can still be restored. Nothing is impossible for me. Not your family. Not your future. Not your broken confidence. Not the dreams you've buried. Not the hope you've nearly abandoned. I specialize in bringing life back to places people have given up on. I bring light into darkness. I bring peace into chaos. I bring purpose into confusion. And I can do the same for you. But first, you must stop looking at yourself through the lens of your failures. You are more than the mistakes you've made. You are more than the labels others placed on you. You are more than your regrets. You are more than your fears. You belong to me, and that identity is stronger than every wound you've ever carried. Rest in that truth for a moment. Let it settle deep within your spirit. You do not have to prove your worth. You do not have to earn your place. You do not have to fight for my affection. You already have it, completely, freely, forever, and nothing can take that away. My beloved child, I know there are nights when the silence feels louder than the noise. Nights when questions echo through your mind and answers seem impossible to find. You wonder where I am. You wonder why certain prayers remain unanswered. You wonder if I truly see what you're going through. Let me answer that now. Yes, I see it all. I see the tears nobody else notices. I see the fears you hide behind your smile. I see the burdens you've carried for so long that they've begun to feel normal. Nothing about your struggle is invisible to me. Every detail matters. Every emotion matters. Every part of your story matters. Even when you feel forgotten, you are not forgotten. Even when you feel overlooked, you are not overlooked. Even when you feel alone, you are never alone. I've been walking beside you through every chapter, during the victories, during the disappointments, during the seasons when your faith felt strong, and during the seasons when you barely had enough strength to whisper my name. I never left, not once. There were moments when you thought I was distant, moments when heaven seemed silent, moments when your heart wondered if anyone was listening. But my child, silence does not mean absence. A seed buried beneath the soil may seem forgotten, yet growth is happening where no one can see it. In the same way, there have been countless things taking place beneath the surface of your life. Strength has been growing, wisdom has been growing, compassion has been growing, faith has been growing, even in seasons that felt empty, even in seasons that felt unfair, even in seasons that felt painfully slow. I have been working, and I am still working. Do not measure my faithfulness by what you can currently see. Some miracles begin long before they become visible. Some answers arrive long before you recognize them. Some blessings are already moving toward you even now. Trust me in the waiting. Trust me in the uncertainty. Trust me when the path ahead feels unclear. I can see what you cannot. I know what tomorrow holds, and I am already standing there preparing the way. You don't need to carry the future on your shoulders. That responsibility belongs to me. Your responsibility is simply to walk with me today. One step, one breath, one moment at a time. And together, we will get where you need to go. My precious child, as you listen to these words, something beautiful is happening. The fear that once controlled you is beginning to loosen its grip. The tension you've carried is beginning to fade. The walls around your heart are beginning to soften, and that is not weakness. That is healing. For so long you've believed that strength meant carrying everything alone. But true strength is learning how to trust. True strength is allowing yourself to be loved. True strength is finally admitting that you were never meant to fight every battle by yourself. You have carried enough. You have worried enough. You have struggled enough. Now I want you to rest. Not because life will suddenly become perfect, but because you are finally learning where your peace comes from. Your peace does not come from having all the answers. Your peace does not come from controlling every outcome. Your peace does not come from knowing exactly what tomorrow will bring. Your peace comes from knowing who walks with you, and I am walking with you. Today, tomorrow, and every day after that. There is nothing ahead of you that we cannot face together. No obstacle too large, no wound too deep, no mistake too great, no darkness too strong. I am greater than all of it, and because I am with you, you do not need to be afraid. The waiting season is ending. The season of hiding is ending. The season of constantly looking over your shoulder is ending. A new chapter is beginning. A chapter marked by trust. A chapter marked by freedom. A chapter marked by peace. Lift your eyes, my child. The future is not something to fear. The future is a place where my faithfulness will meet you again and again. So release the burdens you've been carrying. Release the fears you've been rehearsing. Release the shame you've been dragging through every season. They do not belong to you anymore. You are loved. You are chosen. You are seen. You are known. You are safe in my hands. And no matter what happens next, that truth will never change. So rest now. Be still. Breathe deeply. Allow my peace to settle over your heart. Let my presence fill every empty place. Let my love remind you who you are. You are my child. You are deeply loved. And you never have to walk alone again. The door is open. The light is shining. The invitation remains. Come closer. Stay near. Rest in my love. And remember this. You don't have to wait for another tomorrow to begin living. The gift has always been available today. I am here. I have always been here. And I always will be. Amen.